Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my bowl of water off to the side. I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you assume the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. If you happen to see anything inside the bowl, feel free to leave it down in the comments. You never know when your insights might help somebody. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's where we're going. That's where we're going. I might have to cut that later. We'll see. Okay. Hi, Priestess here. You guys are actually having, it's the first video in a few weeks. It's going to be a manifestation video and it's posting tomorrow. So definitely check that out. If you are interested in the memberships, the link for that is always in the description box below. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So this Queen of Wands, I love this for the starting energy. There's a little bit of this feeling that somebody is, I'm hearing it as I'm seeing this blow over. It's like the smoke is blowing over. So there may have been a recent tower moment. There may have just been something that we've allowed to shed from our life. And for some of you, it's almost like this, this sleep that we've been in for a little while. We're awakening from it. We're starting to awaken from it. And the Queen of Wands in this card, she's almost saying to me, I took back my power. Like maybe someone else had your power. Maybe you were attached to a person that we gave our power away to by thinking about them too much, by obsessing about them too much. Maybe there is someone in your life who knows energy and they stole that power from you. There's this feeling of bringing ourselves back into balance and into wholeness here. And this is very much a solar energy for me whenever I pull the Queen of Wands. And with that black cat, there's a little smack of that eclipse coming in. And the cat represents here all the unreflected light of the sun. So the dark side, the things that we can't know, the mysteries. And notice how this cat is sitting in front of the Queen as though it's guarding her. So whoever this message is for, there has been things that you have picked up along the way, things that you have learned for yourself that only you know. And this may be one of the reasons why it's so important to get your energy back at this time, because whatever it is that you know, this is going before you. I almost feel that this indicates that there is a whole new chapter that's opening up right now for somebody. And, you know, we tend to hear that and we think it's like in these big ways, and sometimes it is, but usually it's in the very subtle. It's like the small little trickles day by day where things start to change and morph until like a month later we look back and we're like, wow, that really was a change. This Queen of Wands is basically showing me that this change or this new chapter that someone is entering into, it's taking us into the early spring, and this Queen is looking forward to the future. So as she's facing the future and this cat is sitting in front of her, almost like a guard or a protector or something that's saying, my energy won't be trapped again, right? There's a lot of independence with this Queen. As she looks forward towards the future, notice what's in her hand is the sunflower. And the center of the sunflower is all those tiny little sunflower seeds that hold all that potential for new life and new sunflowers. So it's this never-ending cascade of potentials that are opening up in front of this Queen. And it's all a process of whatever it is that she has that no one else has. And this seems to be something that's being utilized at this time, because the Queen of Wands, she gathers her resources and her power and her willpower, most notably as a fire queen, and she allows it to become. Now, the Queen of Wands, even though she is a queen which makes her receptive, she's the receptive of fire, and fire is a double action-oriented element. So she's not fully receptive. She's still doing some moves, right? She's making some moves. So whoever this message is for, you may have been recently inspired to start making some moves inside of your life. And this is a really good time to listen to those things. Obviously sit down, plan it out, think about it, make sure it's not just some harebrained idea. I think that some of you are having these inspirations that you've had off and on for the last 2 years. And this might be a good time to listen to them, okay? Because if it lasts that long and it's not going away, then chances are it's something that yourself genuinely wants. Okay. This Queen of Wands is moving into the Queen of Pentacles energy sometime in the spring. Notice the rabbit that's down here, all these spring flowers that are flowering around her. And the Queen of Pentacles is different from the Queen of Wands in that she is completely receptive. So this is where the Queen of Wands is taking her power back. She's already done that. She's let something end, quite possibly had to accept something, or she's had to wake herself up from a very long slumber. And she's moving forward into the future by taking certain actions. It's like strategic, inspired action. And she's applying her energy to this thing. She's not scattered. She's not unclear about what she wants. She's not, you know, any of these like shiny. She's not that, right? She's not that. She's very focused. And as she becomes focused, she's pouring her energy into something that allows her to receive in the future around springtime. It's like a process of, it's a process of refinement that's beginning, and that's what she's putting her focus into. Refinement of currently her willpower, right, her fire, and then it'll probably move into her air, which is the refinement of her mind and her beliefs. It will move into water, probably sometime around Scorpio season, the refinement of her emotions, and then there's a new beginning. So the end of this year, for whoever this message is for, we will be in our new chapter by the end of this year. This new chapter has a very short phase where it's like it's really active, and then it starts to receive in the springtime. Okay, it's like the fruits of my labor pay off. Whoever this message is for, you know that it's going to be hard work. So you have something in mind. Whoever this message is for, you're going to know what this reading is about. Okay, so if you don't know what this reading is about, this isn't your message. And feels like it's hard work. We know that it's hard work. We may even have a little bit of a feeling that we're pushing against a brick wall to get something to happen. Just focus on this. Just focus on this process of refinement. This is what's required for our willpower to kind of travel here. Because right here, we're having to carry it. We're having to like struggle with the thing. And there may be a little bit of that. We may need to do a little bit of work. But a prolonged struggle and feeling like we're supposed to push against a brick wall, that's not supposed to be there. So this refinement process is really going to help somebody kind of get those arrows moving, get the energy moving. This is about getting ourselves into a particular type of flow. Yeah, that's looking like the Wheel of Fortune to me. So it's definitely something about moving the energy, moving into the next phase, moving into something much more aligned for us. But we have to be ready, and that's what this process of refinement is about. It's about making ourselves the vessel that can contain whatever it is that we wind up receiving here. Number one, this is about the individual and the self. Notice how these plants seem to be growing deep underground, so definitely like self-growth that's taking place for somebody. I'm seeing this as like the process in spring where the plants rise up and then they start to bud. So it's like March, April if you're in the northern hemisphere, sometime in that I think is kind of the points where this is directing us. We have this very solar energy again showing up here. Okay. And number 9. This whole like idea of really processing the different aspects of ourselves. These all look like little shards of self that come together to create a whole for me right now. We do have this element of this wall. It's like a coat of arms, but it's really looking like a shield that's a wall. So creating some sort of boundary around ourselves that's for our own health so that we can work on these aspects. I was getting that a little bit because when I was talking about the cloud passing or the smoke clearing, I kept staring at my guy right here. And it was almost like someone here may be focused on self-protecting. It's almost like I'm expecting something. Like we may be on guard a little bit as this process is happening. You know how like if you have like a pain in your body, you get kind of touchy and like, you know, you might get a little snippy because all your energy is going to that pain in your body. It's kind of like that. I feel like someone here, it's like this process is happening so quickly for someone that that's where all the energy is going. So you may feel a little irritable right now. You may notice that you're overprotecting. That's okay for a little while. Because I almost feel that it's very important that this alchemical process take place within us, so that we can come out at a good time, okay? And that good time seems to be indicated here by that early springtime. So there's not a lot of time, and that's not like to put pressure or anything. This is a process that's happening with or without you. If you're resonating with this is a process that's going to happen. There's like these tectonic soul plates that are shifting right now, and but we do want to make sure that we kind of protect our energy and protect our peace and our space as this is happening. So I have a card in here that I read as my little beastie, and this is almost like the opposite, because the little beastie is really speaking to me about like the primitive mind, really going to like our instincts and our natural reactions or our proclivities, whereas this card is more about our higher mind for me. This is like our soul beastie. This is like, what can I grow? If I spread my wings, what can I grow? And notice how the growth comes behind them. There's like this tree that's manifesting from their tail. So it's not that they're planting the seeds or they're doing anything. They're just being their fabulous little winged creature self, and it's making things grow in their wake. And this is kind of what I'm seeing here. So this is the point of this Queen of Pentacles, is to receive. It's not to have to do things. It's like, just by being myself, I facilitate change. I just have to show up, right? That's the energy that this is giving me. This is almost reminding me of like a magnet, so magnetizing something to ourselves. This is reminding me of like a prehistoric sea creature, so things inside the psyche or inside the subconscious, or I'm sorry, the unconscious, that are kind of evolving in some way. And this one's interesting here because it almost makes me think of like a dinosaur that whose legs didn't develop. So there may be a very old thing that we're holding on to, like a very old program or a very old belief, or maybe it's even an old way of being, like an old identity. And we didn't necessarily develop the legs to carry it, right? So this may be, for example, how do I want to like translate all that? Like if we put too much pressure on ourselves to always be right. But how are you always right if you didn't study all the things, right? It's like there's something here that we have as far as like an expectation for ourselves that might be a little bit of magical thinking, and it's something that we don't necessarily have the credentials for, or we don't necessarily have the ability to speak from that position. There's something here that we're doing that we have to be careful that that doesn't bring us back. Okay, so a lot of times this is like pressure on ourselves. This is thinking that we know everything. So then someone who comes along and they're like, hey, try this. We're just, no, right away, because we're just like, we have to shoot everybody down because we have to know everything. It's a little bit of that energy that's going on in here. And this guy, hear me out. This guy, right, he's like, I'm all ears. And it doesn't mean that he believes everything. He's just willing to hear it. I'm all ears, and I have my wings spread. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to fly, and this causes growth behind me. This guy, I've got my magical thinking tusk on, right? Everybody tells me it's magical and it's ivory, and I don't necessarily have the legs to support this big brain of mine, or this body, or this big claim of mine. And what I leave behind me is trails of that almost looks like little magical thinking droplets. So it's like this paradox that's happening inside of this card, and you know what? In the path of this, you always have a little bit of that. You always have that somewhere lurking there, and it's deep down inside, but it's starting to evolve. Whatever it is, it's like it's starting to evolve. That's interesting. That's interesting. So here we have this egg. And the egg is the potential, right? You would never know that looking at an egg, just like you would never know that this guy could become this magical looking beastie. But inside this egg, it's only once that shell hatches. So in the interim, while we're having this protective energy, how you're going to know that things have drastically changed is that your instinctive protection mechanism is going to come down just a little bit because it's ready to hatch. It's ready to hatch something new. I'm almost seeing this here as, I don't know why it came to me as like a escalator. So it's like an up leveling or a going down, depending on how we want to look at it. And this seems to bring us to a particular floor. I'm hearing ding, and this is information. I'm feeling like it brings us to some sort of information. And this information consolidates two very different things. So me, them, black, white, wrong, right, up, down, right? It's like there's something here that becomes flipped or reversed or consolidated for someone, so that these dual natures, they no longer look quite as different. It's like the lesson about both of them becomes embraced. Interesting. Okay. I'm seeing these as like little windows. I think that came up in yesterday's reading, these different windows and these different perceptions that we're able to see through. So definitely a mind expanding energy is coming into this again, like a consciousness expanding. Okay, do I want to, okay, I'm pulling the first card here. So the initiation, again, there's like a new chapter that's beginning here. Okay, and the darkest night. Okay, I just feel that that's what's being left behind here as we cross through that gate. And you may resonate with it being the darkest night. Again, for some of you, it just almost feels like we were asleep. Okay. The worst is behind you. Okay, the worst is definitely behind you. Currently, we're in this in-between where we're gathering all this energy back to ourselves, and this step is about to be taken. Now, notice how these cards are similar. They're just so dark, and these are two different decks. I have them mixed in here. A veiled person and a veiled person, and here they're veiled as gold. They have this like North Star in like the energy body of the self that's really directing them, and it may have started around within 3 days or so of that solar eclipse that we had. And here it's almost like, now that I know where I'm going, it's this little in-between space where it's like we're thinking about it and we're gathering our energy and our strength before we actually take the steps. And now that inner star, that guidance, is at our third eye. It's been integrated, and now it's becoming part of our beliefs about the future. Again, remember, this Queen of Wands is staring directly over here. I know where I want to go. I know who I'm becoming, and I know exactly what I need to do to get there. Maybe not in the 3D. I might not necessarily know the steps, but the journey that someone's taking isn't necessarily in the 3D. It's inside, okay? It's this internal sphere. And that's really what an initiation is. It's an initiation into the mysteries of this little guy right there. So something that we know, something that we've discovered, something that no one else can see, no one else can do. There's something there that's very mysterious. Maybe a few do. Maybe you know of some people that do. But it's not the mainstream way. It's not the popular way. Okay, cut the deck. Chamber of protection again. So as we're going into this deep internal world, it's like there's a part of ourself that is naturally putting up a protection of some kind. And don't fight against that. Trust that it's necessary when we're doing this kind of work to minimize how much access people have to us. Okay. Okay. Let's see. One card over here. Okay. So I'm going to pull one card, and I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to read it. Okay. Sacred Roar. You've held it in long enough. The healing begins when you give it a voice. Speak, and you will feel the shift. Okay. So whoever's message this is, I wish you the best of luck with this energy. Feel free to throw a like on this video or to leave me a comment. And until next time.